All right, everybody, we are live. Can you all see me? Can you all hear me? How's it going? So, I um I decided that I would do an extra stream this week because we won and we got some stuff to be happy about, and we got a big game coming up on the short turnaround. We're 4 games in, which is a pretty decent checkpoint for the season. So I thought we'd go ahead and do a stream tonight for 1 hour. I'm just going to go for an hour. It's going to be kind of like a Hawk's Nest video. I'm going to address as many comments as I can, kind of the way he does it. And we're just going to talk about this team until we run out of time. So, couple interesting notes today. We got an injury report earlier today, and it looks dangerous. I made a video about it already, but we have a lot of things to overcome over the next couple of days just so we have a team that has a chance to win on Thursday night, quite frankly. It doesn't look amazing right now. The possibility of not having Shell, Dunlap, Taylor, Eskridge, it doesn't make you feel great about this game. Now, I can tell you that assuming we get at least a couple of those guys, I will go into this game expecting us to win. But I can tell you right now that it's not going to be an easy challenge. So I made a video about the injury situation. And other than that, I made a video this morning about Sidney Jones, about how I don't think he did anything that differently from Trey Flowers. He was better, but I think we benefited from bad QB play more than anything. I'm going to go ahead and stand by that for the time being. And that's really about it in terms of the news. I'm keeping an eye on some of the professional Seahawks watchers on Twitter to see what they have to say about this game, about where this team is. But we got some stuff to talk about this. We got some stuff to talk about this week, so I thought I'd go ahead and go live for about an hour. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and start taking a look at some of these comments. You guys know the rules. I am going to stream for 1 hour. I'm going to address as many comments as I can, but I cannot guarantee I will be able to address every comment. If you have a comment you really want me to address, then the only guaranteed way to get it on is to send it in the form of a super chat. If you do that, I will see it, I will read it, I will respond to it. Member comments have a higher percentage chance of being answered because I see them better on the screen when I'm streaming. And that's really about it. Already got 30 people in here, so I guess we're going to go ahead and get underway. Could LJ get some run for Dunlap, or is he more of an inside guy? To me, if LJ Collier is anything, he's a run guy. He's an inside guy. But you might not have a choice. For all we know, we're going to be missing Dunlap, Mayoa, and Taylor. If we don't have those three guys, I don't think I can really give us a chance to win this game. You got to generate pass rush somehow. And you're taking several of your key guys. I know Dunlap hasn't done a whole lot this year in terms of his numbers, but I do believe that Dunlap is an important part of what this pass rush can be. And if you don't have him, then I don't know what you do. Have you ever watched Filoki? Yes. Could we sign Atkins? Yeah, we could, but the problem is we play in 3 days. So if you sign Geno Atkins now, he's not going to be able to play on Thursday. If you sign him now, you might get him in time for the next game. Dunlap will be crucial late season. Oh, absolutely, but this is a crucial game. If you win this game, you're right back in it. You look like the team that you thought, that everyone thought, that people thought they were going to be before the season started. If you beat the Rams, people are going to start believing again. And if you don't win, then you look like you're in a tier below the top teams in the NFC. Maybe 2 tiers. Big difference in game was Collins and Ryan Neal. Thoughts? Yeah, I can't totally disagree with that. How about Trey Brown coming back? Trey Brown, I don't think he's going to play in the Rams game. I think he'll play in the next game, but I don't think he's going to play in this game because it's a short week. So I think you're going to see some Trey Brown against the what is it, the Steelers? I think you'll see him against the Steelers. Hopefully we have Everett for Thursday would make a huge difference. I think we will. If we don't, then that to me is an indication that the COVID test is having a problem because it's had positive, negative with Dunlap with Everett, excuse me, for the last couple of days, for really the last week, and something's not right. But I do expect to have Everett, and I do believe he does make a difference in this offense. Do you think D. Eskridge will play? I do. I do. But concussions are weird. Concussions are weird. How do you like us having 3 straight primetime games? It's fine. No beef with it. It's not something that bothers me too much. Hello, Rye Guy. More dime, please? Yeah, so I'm going to talk about this more later in all likelihood, but we played a lot of dime against the Niners, and it worked very well. And fundamentally, I like that. But I'm going to go ahead and point out the turd in the punch bowl here. This is why you don't use a first-round pick on Jordan Brooks. This is why you don't draft Jordan Brooks. Because right now, it seems like our best bet on defense is to play dime. And that means taking Brooks off the field. So your first-round pick of a couple years ago is now somebody who can't even be out there with the best possible unit because Wagner isn't going to give up that spot. So I like the dime defense. I like getting Ryan Neal out there. I think that stuff is a positive development for sure. But I have to say, this is why you don't spend a first-round pick on Jordan Brooks. He's not out there for the most important snaps now because he can't cover, and your best bet is just plain dime. So I don't... I guess it is what it is at this point, but that's the problem I have. Greetings, Brendan. I believe the Seahawks will pressure as a collective unit. Don't be surprised if Jamal has a breakout game and everyone elevates their game. That might be what it takes. Jamal might just have to blitz his pants off if we don't have Dunlap and Taylor. And that's worked before to a certain extent, but it's not great. Would you start Collins and finish with Carson? I don't think it really matters who starts. You can put in whoever you want to after the first play. I don't have a problem with Carson starting. I'm so concerned about our pass rush. Me too, QT Rich. Me too. Although I think they did play pretty good in the second half against the Niners. I feel like the dime is like late season adjustment of 2020 when our defense was good. Yeah. It just seems like Ryan Neal is good, and it just seems like you need to find a way to get him on the field, even if it kind of hair lips things a little bit. Brooks in a couple years, though, could be a completely different player. Yeah, but by then it's too late. It's too late in a couple years. This is why it's such a bad idea to draft a guy who's meant to play middle linebacker than when you already have Bobby Wagner for the next 3 years. Brooks is being groomed for when Bobby retires or leaves, I think. Okay, when? Like, when's Wagner going to retire or leave? Why do we have a first-round pick on his rookie deal just taking up space for 2-3 years? That's such a bad way of running a team. I hate it. Yeah, Tilly, but Jamal Adams getting overly excited and overly hype could easily backfire and when you think about it, right? It can easily go the other way. I am much more concerned about Donald and him destroying our offensive line. You know, I don't want to... It's probably a really bad idea for me to say this right now. But Kyle Fuller did not play bad against the Niners at all. I think that Fuller might be coming around. So maybe that's a positive indicator. I wish Neal was a corner due to so much energy and hype in him. Neal pretty much is a corner. I think I think that his best position is corner. I know we have him listed as a safety, but I think he's meant to be corner more than anything. Okay, chat's moving fast now, so I'm not gonna get. I'm not gonna be able to answer every comment here. Just be advised. Is Penny still out? Yes, Penny's out for at least another 3 games or 2 games. Excuse me. The biggest Achilles heel of the defense so far has been time of possession. Seattle's offense needs to do a better job of running screens, check downs, and they need to stay committed to run game. Yeah, that goes both ways, though. The defense can't get off the field. Like, against the Vikings, the offense had very little to do with that because the defense just never got off the field. Like 9 third down conversions or whatever. Joe Lopez, I also think that for the first time this season, Russ and Shane will be on the same page for all 4 quarters. That's probably what it's going to take because I don't think this defense is quite where they need to be. But it can happen. Jamal is a hype beast. He hasn't done nothing this whole season. He certainly hasn't lived up to his contract yet. Flowers got flagged during a special teams play. I think I missed that, Jason. I didn't notice that. That's funny. I mean, Fuller could only get better, correct? Yeah, well, in the sense that he can't be any worse. Yeah. But I'm not even like memeing when I say this. He played pretty decently against the Niners. Corbin Smith on Twitter said that he thought that yesterday our best offensive lineman overall was Kyle Fuller. If that keeps trending that direction, I'm going to have to give this team some credit because they saw something in him that nobody else did. Metcalf's new contract will spell the end for Bobby Wagner. I don't want Bobby back next year pretty much no matter what. So hopefully that's the way it breaks, I think. I think that's for the best. Yeah, Jamal played fine yesterday, but he doesn't look like the best safety in the league. That's what we paid for. That's what we should be getting. What if the Texans, what would the Texans except for Brandon Cooks in a trade? Probably not very much. I mean, the Texans are going to go into fire sale mode, and they would probably just be happy to get rid of him. So, not too much. That's not a terrible idea. Yeah, Seattle needs to figure out the screen game. And the issue is it might be a Russell Wilson problem. Because Wilson's never been good at throwing screens. That's been the one hole in his game. Right? He's never been a good screen player. Yes, Kel, mate YT, I don't want Bobby here next year unless he's taking a huge pay cut. Blurns ball. Odds on Dorsett playing this season? I think he'll play a little bit. I just don't think he's going to do anything. Fuller can play the game. The problem with him is the mental side of the position. I hope, Michael. I would take that. But I just need Wilson to not get killed while he figures that stuff out. If the D stays right on the track that they are on and doesn't improve much more, Bobby will be back next year 100%. I don't follow. Like, if the defense is bad, why wouldn't you get rid of the guy who's making the most money on the defense? Oh, and Snacks, after this stream, I'll be up for DBD. So this stream's going to run for about another 45 minutes, and I'll be ready for Dead by Daylight at that point, Snacks, if you are in the chat still. Would Atkins be better than Dunlap? I doubt it. At a certain point, don't you have to ask yourself why nobody wants these people? Like even Dunlap, he was a free agent for like a month and no other team signed him. At a certain point, don't we go that maybe these guys aren't that good? Same with Atkins. He's been out there forever. So you have to start asking the question, are these players actually desirable? Yeah, although I think Dunlap played well yesterday. I think Dunlap played pretty well yesterday, and he got held a lot, and he didn't put up any stats because of it. Still not happy that none of those got called because they're right in front of the referee. I wonder how mad John Mara is today about how Jabril Peppers acted yesterday in overtime. Sounds like Dunlap is out and Taylor is iffy. Really need Mayo to at least come back, and this could be a huge week for Collier. Collier should be active, and I know this sounds like a long shot, and it is, but um, apparently, and I'm not joking, guys. I am not joking when I say this. I am not joking. It sounds like I am. I am not. Apparently, Alden Smith was at SeaTac today. Apparently, Alden Smith was at the airport in Seattle today. Make of it what you will. Yeah, Vaughn, I don't like that guy. Whoever that guy is, I don't like him. Yeah, I thought Dunlap was faking it to get the defensive break, but I guess he has the turf toe, which you never know what the turf toe is going to be. The turf toe, it could keep you out for a minute, it could keep you out for a month. Yeah, yeah, Michael. It's probably nothing, but apparently he was at SeaTac today. Wouldn't that be a story? Dude, Bobby Wagner is still one of the best middle linebackers in the league, and he stays healthy. You don't want him to go. Trust me. If so, please explain. Besides his high salary, um, well, he's a middle linebacker, and his main strength is against the run, right? And if he's so good, then why do we suck against the run? Even though we're starting basically two one-tech defensive tackles. Even though stopping the run is, for some dumb reason, our team's highest priority on defense. Like, if Bobby's so great, then why can't we? Then I don't. Why has the run defense deteriorated to this point? Like this team tries harder than any other team in the NFL to stop the run. We drafted Jordan Brooks to stop the run. We signed Poona Ford and Al Woods to stop the run. These were not pass rushing decisions. These were stopping the run decisions, and yet we can't stop the run. So I don't see how Bobby can be playing all that well if we're not stopping the run. Yeah, I'm hoping that if Bobby stays next year, we restructure him and he makes significantly less money. That's possible, but if he's back next year for 20 million, I'm going to be I'm going to hate it. That's such a bad idea. Yeah, Al Woods is playing fairly well, but for some reason we're not stopping the run. And Al Woods playing fairly well is fine because he's cheap compared to Wagner. It's a team effort. He can't stop every run by himself. I'm not asking him to stop every run by himself. I'm asking the most important player in your run defense to make your run defense at least decent. I think so, Austin. I think so. Do you think Russ will stay in Seattle? I have no idea. I don't know if I see it. I don't. I feel like there's going to be a decision point coming up. Yeah, Bobby was decent in coverage yesterday. I think more or less. Overall this season, I think he's actually been fine in coverage. But Bobby Wagner is not there to stop the pass. His main role in the defense as a middle linebacker, especially in this defense, is to stop the run. And for some reason, we don't. The new five-man defensive line is screwing up the run defense, possibly. It's not helping with the pass either. So I don't know what positives it's doing, and I'd really like to see that just get taken out of out of the playbook altogether because it's not working at all. Yeah, something like that, Austin. If we get rid of Bobby, we would draft a linebacker first. No, we already drafted a linebacker first named Jordan Brooks. You think the decision's going to come down to Peter Russ? I kind of do. Well, yeah, Collins was better against the Niners, but that could be easily a matchup thing. It could just be a 1 day thing. I wouldn't read too much into it, but I do think that you need to split the carries pretty evenly between those two guys. Are you fine with this season being a bust if it means Russ stays and Pete Carroll steps down, or would you rather go 12-5, get in the playoffs, and hope for the best? I would rather go 12-5. You only get so many seasons, and you don't know. You might die tomorrow, right? I'm not that interested in giving away a season just in the hope of things maybe getting better, unless I know the season's already lost, and I'm not there yet. Carson's fine. It just wasn't his day. It happens sometimes. Remember, guys, Carson is not making very much money, and he's not a good fit for this offense, and we know that. So we should be looking at this Carson thing as if he can get like 1,200 all-purpose yards this season and protect the football, then we're getting good return on investment. We don't need him to be 100 yards every game. Carson is cheap. He is earning the money that he's making. He's not Alvin Kamara, and he's not Derrick Henry. He's not Dalvin Cook. He's not those guys that always get 100-plus yards every game. Yeah, I was excited for Penny in this offense, but it's just never going to happen. Oh, sorry to hear that, Baran. Well, Amir, who's going to trade for Dwayne Brown? And who are you going to get? Who's this good young offensive lineman? Like, who are you going to get right now? I don't understand. Like, Dwayne Brown is not playing well right now, but what is your recourse there? Like, who are you going to go get? The only guy you could go get is Taylor Decker, and I don't know about that being a realistic option. Like, it's hard to find good left tackles. So I think you just have to pray that Dwayne Brown figures it out. Mekhi Becton in a fourth round pick? The Jets would never do that. The Jets might be stupid. They are not that stupid. Maybe you could get George Fant, but are you excited about George Fant? Why would the Jets give up on Becton already unless he's like hates it in New York or something? Yeah, I don't think there's any. I think the only thing you could do to improve at tackle is get Taylor Decker. And that's all I got. Well, Money's Huddle, that can still happen. They have a lot of injury prone players on that team, like J.J. Watt and A.J. Green. And honestly, Kyler Murray's kind of injured. Fant is playing left tackle. Becton is hurt. Yeah, I don't think the Jets are going to be willing to trade Becton right now. Maybe they would trade Fant, but not if Becton's injured and Fant has to play. Yeah, my Thailand, if there's anything this team can do to make me really just not want to even root for them anymore, it is have Carroll prove that he controls the team to the degree that he can just force his son into a major assistant coaching role. Thoughts on not picking up Sherman? I didn't really want him. Fant for a fifth? Why would the Jets do that? Why would the Jets do that, though? Like, they have a young quarterback that they're trying to not get killed. I don't know why they would do that. Brown is fine. I hope so. He was not fine against the Vikings. Against the Vikings, he looked bad. Against the Vikings, I didn't notice it as much as first, but he did not play well. And the Niners gave him some issues too. You think Deke and Tyler will get up for the Rams game? Yes, I do, consumer. I'm sure they'll play. Maybe they're not 100%, but who the hell's 100% right now? Fant is eating their cap. Who Are the Jets in cap trouble? How are the Jets in cap trouble? They have a terrible team. What positions would your priority be in the next draft? It depends on what we do in free agency. Remember, free agency comes first. Austin Roberts, thank you for the $5 super chat. I'm afraid Dwayne Brown is going to turn into Walter Jones that last year in 2008. Thanks for great videos, Brendan. Thank you, Austin, for supporting the videos and supporting the channel. That's possible, but he doesn't look that bad yet. Walter Jones might have been the worst left tackle in the league that year. Um, Dwayne Brown ain't there yet. Stafford is way better than Goff. Hey, Tumbo, welcome. You know, we could have got Jalen Ramsey instead of Jamal Adams. I'm not really that excited about getting either, honestly. Give me the dominant pass rusher like Chris Jones from the Chiefs or something like that. You know? I think that's more important to a defense than a guy like Jamal or Jalen Ramsey. I like the 1-2 punch with Carson and Collins as long as they pick the right skill set to match what the D is doing and not just keep feeding Carson. Seems like we're headed that way. And Waldron, I think you can kind of tell that Carson is not his kind of running back, but he can make it work. Shane Waldron had me saying he worse than Shoddy. He looked like Darrell Bevel at the start, but there was a lot going on there that was creating that scenario. I mean, that those first 5 drives were straight out of the Bevel. Were straight out of the Darrell Bevel era, you know? Yeah, I love the new computer consumer. Okay, we've been streaming for about half an hour. So I'm going to take a moment to say thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. We've got 90 people in the stream right now. Please like the stream if you haven't already. It helps. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want daily Seahawks content. We have a bold subscriber goal for the month of October. You can see it over to your left. You can also become a channel member for $5 or $2 a month. We have a member goal for October as well. We need 13 more to hit it. And any donations you send in the form of a super chat are appreciated and will show up in the tip jar to my left as well. Yeah. Yeah, Bevel got us a ring. I didn't hate Bevel, but Bevel got stale by the end. Filoki was still talking shit about Trey Flowers when Jones was asked Sunday too. It's the scheme. These players aren't good enough to be playing off so much. Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. I do think Sidney Jones played a little better than Trey, but not that much better. Yes, AFK, I am. Yeah, Carson, to me, seems like he has good hands. I haven't noticed him having any really bad hands or any bad drops, so I don't know why you wouldn't throw him the ball a little bit more. Trey wasn't giving up TDs, though. Jones did. Yeah, and like Sherman. People were talking about Sherman. I think Sherman gave up 9 or 10 completions against the Patriots last night. Somebody posted in coverage, Sherman got targeted 9 times and gave up 9 completions, getting targeted by Mac Jones. Like, that level of player is not going to get us out of this problem. The only way to work in this scheme is to be elite. And your only chance to get an elite player is CJ Henderson because he's a blue chipper. Why do people in the chat keep telling me to collab with Filoki? Who's your breakout player on the Hawks this year, if any? Well, we've already played 4 games. Maybe Freddie Swain, but pretty soon he won't be playing that much. Maybe... Darrell Taylor. Like, you need blue chippers to work in this scheme right now, it seems to me. And you don't have that many chances to get blue chippers. So... I don't think I ever talked shit about Swain. I just thought he was a jag. And I still kind of do. He's a little better than I thought, but I never disliked Swain. I just felt like he was just another dude, like a Paul Richardson or shoot, who's another random receiver. Like I don't think he's any better than a David Moore. Like he's fine. I used to collab with Sam Dog Amir. I don't collab with him anymore. Yes, Jason, I will be collabing with Hawk's Nest. I can tell you that right now. Who would I like to see the Hawks trade for to make an immediate impact? Um, Jason Kelsey makes some sense still, but it might be too late. Maybe you go get somebody like maybe Taylor Decker is actually probably your best bet because he can help immediately and help in the future. Did you know or remember Salt Lake City Seahawk? I recall the name. You were sitting next to him at the Broncos game? Oh, cool. Do you think we stand a chance against the Rams? Sure. The Rams are not invincible. Did you see what the Rams did on Sunday? They got blown out at home by a team that I still don't think is a juggernaut. Yeah, the Cardinals are clearly good, but they should have lost to the Vikings. Golden Tate is still a free agent. And receiver's not really the problem. When we face the Cards, I can't see how we can stop their rushing attack. Well, one of the reasons why you drafted Jordan Brooks is to stop the Cardinals. So if he doesn't play well in that game, then you truly got him for nothing. Oh, Jason Baker, that was Tavares Jackson. Why what, Amir? What do you? Why what? Jarrett, I think that Lockett runs some pretty sick routes too. Yeah, he's not Doug Baldwin. Doug Baldwin was at one point the second best route runner in the NFL, but Lockett's really good there too. Sam Dog, why? What? I'm sorry. Yes, Tavares Jackson died in a car accident. Sam Dog, why what? I think Brooks is probably a pretty good player, but he has holes in his game that are a problem. And he has. I I don't think that's a high impact position. Is there any defensive ends available in free agency? Not any good ones. Oh, Amir, because I wasn't getting anything out of it anymore. So I decided I'm too busy. I can't afford to be doing things that I don't think I get any value out of. I like Brooks. I just have no idea why we drafted him. Yeah, that's pretty much exactly how I feel. No problem. See you later, Jason. Thank you. It was a one sided collab. Kind of. But, like, at a certain point, you just have to decide you only have so many hours in the day. You only have so many hours in the day. You got to use them the right way. Amir, I'm probably doing Dead by Daylight right after this stream, actually. This stream's going to run for less than half an hour more. And then I'm going to jump on Dead by Daylight. Did Russ play more conservative against the Niners? I don't think he played any more or less conservative than he did against the Vikings, which I think he's playing fine. I kind of agree, Brandon, and maybe that's why we're bringing in Alden Smith. If we are bringing in Alden Smith, I don't know if we actually are, but some people It was theorized that we might be bringing him in. Is Barton available to play? I'm sure he will be. Yeah, I did not like Kyler Murray when he got drafted at all. I thought that dude was going to be a colossal bust. I thought he was going to be a disaster. KJ Wright got burned for a touchdown. I mean, that's what happens when you get old. You can't do that stuff the way you used to. It is what it is. I did not think Kyler was going to be good. I thought Kyler 100% should have gone to play baseball. Um, I I have there's a guy that I know who apparently saw him today at SeaTac, and this person has no reason to lie to me. This person gains nothing by lying. So he says he saw Aldon Smith at SeaTac. He didn't say anything else, but he did say that. The main concern I have with Kyler is I think he might be susceptible to injuries because he is small and he does take hard hits and he's not very good at avoiding the hard hits the way Russ is. But he can play better than I expected. uh, SeaTac, Alexis, it's the airport in Seattle. And this game sucks. I thought this was going to be a good game. Is there a way to beef up the run defense? Maybe stop playing the five-man front? Maybe move Puna Ford back to one tech? Maybe. I don't know. I have a very hard time believing the Aldon Smith stuff, but it's an interesting thought. And it would make some sense because we may be down a few pass rushers on Thursday. And I don't want to see this defense with no pass rush. We have already seen far too much of it. Leland Kimball, thank you for the $10. Fixed. All right, cool. Thank you. I appreciate the support. As bad as it sucks, Brooks shouldn't be on the field past first down. Yeah, Jared, it seems like we play better when Brooks is off the field. And that's the problem with drafting a guy like Jordan Brooks number in the first round. Like, he's not a bad player, but what he can do is limited. Do you think Trey Lance is going to be a problem in the future? I think he probably will be. I think he's going to be good. I feel like Puna is not the same guy. You need to move him back to one tech. Now, that leaves you in a bad spot elsewhere, but this is something that should have been taken care of in the preseason, in training camp. You should have realized that Puna didn't look good at 3 tech in the training camp, and then you should have put him back at 1 tech before the season started. You shouldn't be doing this crap now. I feel like we need a culture or coaching shift. We have some decent players, but it seems like we have lost our drive to play fast and hard. Well, some of these guys are older, I guess, but some of them aren't. And honestly, even when the team is playing bad, I don't get the sense that they're slacking. I don't get the sense that they're not trying hard. I don't see them just going through the motions out there. I see them giving effort. But for some reason, they're not in the right place to make these plays. Couldn't they just move Woods and Monet to 3 tech? I don't think you can move Woods. Monet you could. But Woods is a 1 tech for sure. Monet maybe can be 3 tech. Kimdichi's definitely a 3 tech, I think. Geno Atkins is a true 3 tech. You can go get him. LJ Collier could maybe be 3 tech. Like, there are some solutions, but nothing is great. Yeah, Samvit, that stuff drives me crazy. I don't want to see Dunlap in coverage anymore. Find another way to play defense that doesn't involve putting Dunlap into coverage. You can run on the Rams, man. The Cardinals ran all over them. The last two games they've played, they've given up 450 yards. Now the Bucks weren't able to take full advantage, but the Cardinals did. That's not that good of a defense right now. Raheem Morris is not pushing the right buttons. Hey, Animal. Yeah, I know Dunlap might not play. That's a problem. I know he's not playing great to start the season, but he he's an important part of what this team is doing. Probably Kerry Williams is John scared to do it anymore. Well, sometimes you miss. That doesn't mean you stop swinging. Maybe I'll collab with Filoki. Maybe. He seems like a cool dude. Yeah, I don't. Jamal is not bad in coverage. People keep acting like he is. He's not. He was excellent in coverage for the Jets. So one of two things happened. Either Jamal Adams forgot how to cover when he went from New York to Seattle, or we're not using him the way we need to be using him to for him to achieve his best possible self. Like, what do you think is more likely? Did Jamal Adams just forget how to play football? Like, that doesn't make any sense. He's young. He was playing for a contract last year, and people were like, oh, he can't cover. No, he can cover. He's proven it with a much worse team, by the way. Any updates on Shell? He would have practiced today. That indicates to me he's likely to get a chance to play. I want Ken Norton Jr. gone, but keep Pete. Hire a more dynamic, younger defensive play caller and marry the old with the new. Well, if you keep Pete, isn't it always just going to be Pete's defense? Like, how can you keep Pete but say you don't get to control the defense anymore? Pete would be like, no, I'm not okay with that. How does that work? um, yeah, Ethan. That we basically played a lot of dime in that game. We played dime even though we didn't necessarily need to, and it worked pretty well for us. Um, the issue is now you're taking Jordan Brooks off the field, and you spend a first round pick on him. That's not ideal, but at this point, I think it's the best possible solution. Just get Ryan Neal on the field as much as possible. Yeah, if Pete goes, I think John's going to go automatically. If Pete leaves, then John leaves with him probably. Those two guys are basically connected at the hip. And John has made a lot of mistakes recently too. I mean, one or two of these drafts over the last 8 years have been okay, but eh. Are you worried the interior O line gets manhandled by Donald and friends? Well, you have to be. You have to be. I do think Fuller played a better game against the Niners, though. Yeah, Michael, I don't get it. Geno Atkins would be a perfect fit for this team at 3 tech. He would solve a lot of the issues I think we're having with Puna playing 3 tech, move him back to 1 tech. But for one reason or another, it didn't happen. It was Ken's decision to play Ryan Neal yesterday. Well, that's cool. But why did it take 3 games to realize that's your best defensive set? Do you think Durham played better at right tackle compared to Cedric? Probably not. I assume you mean Jake Curhan. What are you talking about, Thailand? Quentin Dunbar isn't even. Is he even on a team right now? Shaquille Griffin looks as average as they come in Jacksonville. Jerron Reed isn't doing anything in Kansas City. And KJ Wright played like 11 snaps for the Raiders a couple of last week against the Dolphins. Like, where's all that coming from? Atkins, I'm pretty sure Atkins is better than Kemdichi, but Kemdichi is a vetmin player, and Atkins probably wants a few $1,000,000. How are you going to keep Griffin when Jacksonville offered him $45 million? What are you going to do? Are you going to say we're going to give Griffin $50 million to be average? That's a terrible idea, too. He signed with Arizona? Oh, okay. Yeah, we didn't go deep very much this week at all. We didn't against the Vikings either. I think a lot of that is just pass rush related. I don't. Tumbo, we gave up touchdowns on the first drive of the game against the Vikings and Niners, so I don't think the defense played great at the start of either of those games. And like against the Vikings, we gave up 21 points in the first half. I don't think the defense played good at any point in that game. Yeah, Sidney Jones, we'll see where it goes. I wasn't that impressed, but he's got time to improve. I'm still seeing some of the same issues, which is what makes me think these players are not the problem. I think the problems are upstairs. I think the problems exist above the players. If we had a good O line, I think our offense can be top five. I think it can get there. Yeah, I made a video about it this morning. Don't think for 1 second that Sidney Jones played good yesterday. He fought. He did maybe the best that he could. He looked promising. Um, but don't think he played good. If that's good, I don't want to see what your idea of bad would be. Any team with a good O line can be top five? Not necessarily. We allowed like 7 points in the first 3 quarters versus Frisco versus the Vikings. We held them to 10. No, the Vikings had 21 points in the first half. It was with the Vikings game touchdown, punt, touchdown, touchdown, field goal, field goal, field goal. And the field goals were all in the second half. That can't be right. We definitely allowed three first half touchdowns against the Vikings. We must have. We've had a good O line with Pete before. It just happened a long time ago. Nick Ballore actually got a fullback snap yesterday on a successful run. Maybe we mix 4 or 5 runs a week with a fullback going forward. Doesn't seem to be part of the offense, but you go to the fullback once or twice over the course of a season. I'm sure it'll happen again. I just don't think it'll be a regular part. What are your expectations realistically? Are we in the 9 wins range? I hope we can do better than that. But the way we played through 4 games, that probably sounds about right. Up tempo and rollouts for the offense might help against the Rams defense. That stuff helps against pretty much every team, yeah. The Rams defense is not playing that well right now, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw, but one of the Rams fan pages on Instagram, I can't remember what they're called, like went on this pretty rude and profanity laced tirade against Raheem Morris yesterday on Instagram, and it went viral. And that guy's probably not having a good time right now because the stuff he said was really stupid. Yeah, we had a very high paid offensive line when we won the Super Bowl. It wasn't the best offensive line, but we invested heavily into it and it got the job done. Like, we spent a first round pick on Carpenter, and Carpenter wasn't great. Carpenter was not that good, but He was passable. Let me try to find it real quick, guys. Give me a few minutes here. Hopefully they come up with some kind of plan to deal with that, Joel. Yeah, Carpenter was a pretty good run blocker. So was J.R. Sweezy. They couldn't pass block very well, though, but back then it didn't matter as much because Wilson was really elusive. Yeah. Oh, there's no way Okung is going to be better than Dwayne Brown at this point. There's no way. I can't find it. Oh yeah, Yakamimi. That guy was fun. That guy was funny. Gabe Jackson allowed 0 pressures. Ooh, okay. If that's true, that's good because he's been allowing a lot of pressures. Yeah, Mark Lewinsky sucked with us, but then he became a good player on the Colts. Strike number 1 against Tom Cable, and he ended up with a lot of strikes before he got pushed out of here. Green uniforms this week. That'd be okay. Yeah, I can't find the Instagram post anymore. Maybe it got deleted. But he kind of went after him personally and did things that you're not really supposed to do on the internet where things live forever. Yeah, I think the cornerbacks we have are the cornerbacks we're going to get. Like, I don't see how we're going to get much better than this. The only guy you can get at this point really is probably Gilmore, and I don't think Gilmore makes sense. I don't like Gilmore. I think he's old. I think he's over the hill. I think he wants to get overpaid. I don't like the Gilmore thing at all. All right, so we've been streaming for about an hour. I'm going to go for like another 5 or 6 minutes, but I'm going to take a break real quick to say we have 113 people in the stream right now. Please like the stream if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want daily Seahawks content. We do have a bold subscriber goal for October that we need to hit. Become a channel member for $2 or $5 a month by using the join button down below. We need 13 more members to reach our October goal for members. Super chats and donations are always appreciated. They show up in the tip jar to my left. And you've got about 5 or 6 more minutes to talk about these Seahawks. And then we're going to go ahead and switch on over to Dead by Daylight. Yeah, I don't think Gilmore's the right... Even if he fit the scheme, I wouldn't be crazy about it. Because he's old, and Bill Belichick doesn't think he's worth it. And if Bill Belichick doesn't think somebody's worth it, then I'm inclined to believe that he's probably not worth it. Like, friggin'... If an incompetent head coach thinks somebody's not worth it, I'm going to believe the incompetent person might be the stupid one, but not Bill Belichick. If we win against Rams, we would be second in the division, yes. I think they should more or less split snaps, Brandon B. I'm happy with that. I think that makes a lot of sense. Our best offensive lineman, I thought it was going to be Damian Lewis. He doesn't look quite as good as I was expecting, but I don't know. The Dolphin. Wait, Xavier Howard's not on the block. They redid his contract and he's happy now. Xavier Howard's not an option anymore. We're not going to be tied for first. We have 2 losses. The Cardinals have 0. Even if we win and they lose, they'll be ahead of us. I think that because we don't watch every Cardinals game and we don't watch every Cardinals play, it's so easy to just look at that and go, oh, they're 4-0. They must be amazing. But we started 4-0 last year, and I don't think most Seahawks fans thought we were invincible. Because we watched every game, we saw that our defense was terrible. We saw the pass rush was terrible. We saw all these things that we knew were bad. And we kind of decided to not and well, we didn't decide to, but we were smart enough to know that, hey, just because we're winning every game doesn't mean this team is perfect. So, as Seahawks fans that don't watch every Cardinals play and every Cardinals game, we're just looking at a 4-0 record. But if we watched every game, we would probably see some things like, hey, they should have lost to the Vikings. Hey, they commit a lot of penalties. Hey, they look a little undisciplined. So, chill out. Right now, all we can see with the Cardinals is their 4-0 record. Eventually, they're going to lose, and we're going to feel very differently. Now, the Cardinals are good, but I don't believe they're as good as that record. Well, I don't know if they were laughing at him, Killmate YT. I think that if you are an owner or a coach or a manager in the NFL, you want your players to stay out of your business and allow you to do your job. Players play, coaches coach, owners own, managers manage. And it's not unreasonable. Like, you don't want a LeBron James situation. You don't want a you don't want a situation where you've got a LeBron James who completely controls every decision your team makes because he can hold you hostage. You don't want that. Now, you don't want Aaron Rodgers either. You don't want Aaron Rodgers to get so upset by the way he's being treated that he decides he'd rather go anywhere else than stay with your really good team. But you don't want the LeBron James side of things either. Compare LeBron to Russ. LeBron is a moron. Well, Russ would probably make just as many mistakes building a team. If it was up to Wilson, we would probably never lose any of our offensive players that he likes to play with, even if it was time to move on. If it were up to Russ, we probably would have given KJ Wright $10 million a year because he likes that guy. Like, you get too emotional when you're attached to these players. Players shouldn't have complete control. But so there's got to be a balancing act. I don't know where it is. I don't know where it is, but I know you can't have the LeBron James thing, but you can't have the Aaron Rodgers thing either. I don't know where the happy medium is, but I understand that an owner or a manager or a coach or whatever doesn't want a player feeling like they can do his job. So it's not surprising that there's a pretty strong push and pull there. And I don't have a great answer for it, but I'm pretty confident that we don't want Wilson making personnel decisions. Maybe having his voice heard is one thing, but at the end of the day, he can have his voice heard and then have it be ignored, too. So that doesn't necessarily mean anything by itself. All right, guys. Thanks for coming out to the stream tonight. We talked for an hour on these Seahawks. I think we got through some good stuff. Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. See you guys in a little bit here. I'm going to jump on Dead by Daylight with my homie. And you can keep talking about Seahawks with me if you want to. But I will be playing some Dead by Daylight. So see you guys then. More videos tomorrow. And go Hawks.